All right, let's talk a little bit more Pistons basketball. Watching Pelicans and the Knicks right now. It's crazy. But let's talk, man. We back. Mercy Sports Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the videos. Appreciate the love, support, man. For real, you want to make a donation, that link's in the description. Best way to donate is just to share the video, all right? And let's talk about, we're going to talk about Luke Kennard and Domantas. Hopefully I said his name right, Sabonis. The big fella from the Pacers, Arvydas Sabonis' son. And Arvydas Sabonis is one of the great international big men of all time. He just came over to the NBA a lot later in his career. But if you go look at some of his younger highlights, he was a beast for that Russian national team. But says the Pistons start off with Kennard. Pistons exercised their $5.3 million team option on Luke Kennard for 2020 to 2021. You know, Kennard's 23 years old. And I put the article in the description. He was drafted 12th in 2017. It's averaged 8.6 points a game, 2.6 rebounds, 1.8 assists in 136 NBA games. Last season, he averaged 9.7 points per game, 9.2 rebounds a game, 1.8 assists while shooting a team high 39% from three-point range and connecting on a career high 106 three-pointers. So at the end of the day, they just trying to, you know, retain an asset. It's no point in making them walk. And I guess they had to get that team option in maybe before the season start. But, you know, for Luke Kennard, they have refused to trade him in a few trade scenarios I heard. They wanted to retain his rights. They like him. He can shoot the ball a little bit. But my problem with him is health and the lack of aggressive. If Luke Kennard was aggressive, a lot of times he on that wing and he ain't calling for the ball. You know, he get the ball, he moving on. I like to see him in kill mode. And that means attacking the rim. He got a rare talent. He just not Kyle Korver like Derrick Rose calling him. Luke Kennard can put the ball on the floor. He can score. He can handle it. He can dish it. He can shoot. He can score. He ain't just a shooter. He's a scorer and he can create his own shot. But he just don't have an aggressive alpha male attitude. He a beta male out there, at least with his attitude on the court. And if he can be aggressive, I mean, he could be one of the better picks back in 2017. All right? Because obviously right now we'd rather have Donovan Mitchell. He went one pick after Kennard. And we rather have Bam as well. Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Derek White, John Collins III. I like him a lot better, but it ain't all ain't lost for Luke Kennard, man. Luke Kennard is being retained by this team because he provides something that we lack some of, and that's shooting. You know, they bring in Tony Snell. He ain't really a knockdown shooter. Derrick Rose really ain't a knockdown shooter. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Jackson, he can shoot it, but he ain't a knockdown shooter. Luke Kennard may be one of the few knockdown shooters on this team. Him, Langston Galloway, and there's a couple other guys that can shoot it, but shooting is at a premium in this league since Steph Curry revolutionized three-point shot, in my opinion. And like I said before, man, we need his shooting in. He could he could be real good, man. He just gotta be aggressive. And if Kennard can be aggressive and they can instill that confidence in him and shoot the ball, because when he going forward and he being aggressive, I mean he can catch fire quick. And I do think Dwayne Casey need to run more plays for him to get his confidence up, because it's nobody on the court I'd rather shoot the ball, or even score the ball more than him, unless Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin is just on a hot streak. But I think they need to make him a primary option. May it be off the bench or may it be in the starting lineup. I think it's imperative for him for them to run plays. And they can get the old screen action going, like the old curls that Rip used to run, or the baseline screens he used to run like Reggie Miller. They need to treat Luke Kennard like that. And I put a lot of the shortcomings on Luke Kennard on coaching. Dwayne Casey got to get him involved in the offense, but I like them picking up the option. And I think pressure builds diamonds, and they also brush price. But I think Luke Kennard going to be just fine, man. He got too much talent, in my opinion, to not fulfill as a good, solid NBA player. But Sabonis from the Pacers is getting traded. You know, a lot of these young guys' contract coming up. I'm pretty sure you guys heard about the Buddy Hield situation where he wanted the max for his amount of years. Somebody on my other channel told me I got it wrong. He was right. 6-7 years, you get the big max in the NBA. Buddy Hield been in about 3 or 4, so he get the other max. So it's like $110 million over 4 years. And Sabonis wants a lot of money for the Pacers to retain him. They paid Brogdon, they paid Turner, and they paid somebody else over there as well too. Victor Oladipo. They paid a lot of guys money. Long story short, so now they're shopping Sabonis around, and I would love for the Pistons to get Sabonis. He like 23, 26 years old, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? He a good rebounder. They really ain't played him a lot of minutes. He been coming off the bench, but you know, if his production can match in full-time minutes, I take him all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying him no max contract, but you know what I'm saying? He can score it, he can rebound it. He get you a double-double. You know what I'm saying? And if the Pistons can get a guy like that, he can play with Andre Drummond too. You know what I'm saying? He can play with him, he can shoot. I mean, obviously the Pacers don't need an Andre Drummond, but you know, at some point in time, they do blow it up. He can play with Drummond if you want to build around him. He can play with Blake. He can come off the bench. He an athlete. He could defend. You know, he can shoot it. So, you know, it's a nice little asset to have, man, because he could play with a lot of those guys over there. He used to coming off the bench. So it's a guy they should definitely look at, because I've been looking the way he play. Like I said, his daddy, one of the greatest international big men to play. He just didn't really get to showcase his talents in Portland because he was an older player. But, you know, you talking about Nowitzki, he was doing that then. Shooting threes, passing was great. He was able to handle the ball. People remember him when he was fat and old for the Portland Trailblazers. Then he was still good then, being old and broke up. So he come from good genes, you know what I'm saying? And he right down the street in Indiana. So I don't know exactly what they want, but they say the asking price is very, very high. But if the Pistons really going for it right now, and this team is achieving what they need to achieve by the time the All-Star break come, sellers might become buyers, because at the end of the day, they trying to make more cap room. You can send Reggie, and Reggie be off the books there. Darren Collins said he retired after the season. You know, Oladipo may or may not be back. You might have to ship a Luke Kennard over there and maybe a first-round draft pick if they in the mix. If they in the 5th, 6th seed, why not? You put Sabonis in there with Dre and Blake Griffin. You know, you can play them in a lot of different combinations. You can start off with Blake, Sabonis, and Dre if you really wanted to in some cases, or you could bring Sabonis off the bench. Or if you want to trade Andre Drummond, Sabonis could come in and play the middle. He can rebound, he can defend, and he can stretch out to mid range. So right now he may not be the answer, but by the trade deadline, if they want to move Dre and they want to come back and get Sabonis, I think he a good piece to build with in the middle of your defense. But paying him is going to be the problem. But I like his talent a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And, you know, it's funny the Pacers pay Miles Turner, but they don't want to pay Sabonis. And I think Sabonis got a higher ceiling, at least offensively. But Turner can play some defense, though. But it'd be nice, man. But I don't know if they would want to trade him in the division. You know what I'm saying? Because we are in a division. But also, remember, Indiana got Michael Brogdon from Milwaukee, and they all in the same division. Us, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indiana. You know what I'm saying? So I like the prospects of them thinking about getting Sabonis, especially if you get to the trade deadline. And they do want to move Andre Drummond, and Sabonis is a cheaper option. But all these young guys today think they max players, man. That's crazy, because 4 years, $90 million for Buddy Hield. He a good player, but he wasn't even 100% starter for them last year. He was splitting time with Bogdanovic. You know, they did trade him for Boogie Cousins and a few other pieces. But, you know, Sabonis and Buddy Hield and Bogdanovic and some of these other players, not max players, man. Everybody can't be a max player. And for the max player for 3 or 4 years, because it's different. For the first, till you get 6 or 7 years in the league, you can get the super max. Anything under that, you get the regular max, whatever it is, depending on how long you've been with your team. But, you know, Sabonis not no max player, man. You know, he ain't played enough minutes, but his production is there. But he got to do that on a full-time basis. So we'll see if Pistons one of those teams that's looking to, you know, plug him in. But I think it's something they should explore, at least by the trade deadline. If they are or not where they're supposed to be, I think it can help in both scenarios. But, hey, Motor City Sports Talk, appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate the love, support. Check out our Piston playlist. We got Piston, Lions, college sports, Michigan playlist, and the whole 9. And let me know what you guys think about bringing Sabonis to the Motor City. We out.